Hello, folks. Sorry, I'm already on. Welcome to the Landtamer stream tonight. We are doing some more multicast and continuing on in the workbook. I hope you're having a good Monday. Hope all the bits are going your way and no good frames are being dropped, and all your frames are good and everything is up and running. I'm on call, so I especially hope that things are running well. So I can continue to do the stream, hopefully, and not be interrupted. But this is the agenda for tonight. We're continuing in the workbook. We got a little distracted there. I say distracted. We got involved in really analyzing the IGMP packets and what was going on there. So we had to take some time to analyze that and went off track a little bit. But we're back on track now, I think, with Multicast PIM Accept rendezvous point. So this is just following through on the workbook and what we have left going on in the workbook. Just next lab, queuing up the next lab and hitting it. A couple of meat chunks, not much. We got some public PCAP files. Found out about this site today. Looks pretty cool. Some of them I already knew about, some of them I don't. So a lot of them related to security, which may or not be what you're into, but there's other sites too that have just routing, PCAP, routing and switching. And then I heard about this course today. It was announced on LinkedIn. Narbik Gokarian now has an online Zero to Hero course. I think they do it like 10 Saturdays, which is a great idea. I'm very intrigued by it. I'm entertaining the idea of at some point of possibly doing a Narbik, boot camp. But maybe this will be the way to go. I don't know. We'll see. Definitely check it out. And then today's whip cracking. Actually, this is wrong. We're going to do multicast PIM Accept RP. Something I'm trying out, guys, is we're I'm doing what's called reruns on Twitch. So the channel is going to be running up during the day as well, a lot of times. I've got a few playlists I'm working on. I'm taking a lot of the videos from YouTube, uploading them to Twitch, and because I didn't do really downloads, or I didn't record the files before. I've always just streamed to YouTube. The recording thing is new, but I can download from YouTube and upload as MP4 and upload to Twitch. And today I played 6 hours worth of videos back from a certain section like MPLS. So tomorrow I think is going to be tomorrow will be MPLS. So that'll be playing throughout the day. It's interesting to see the view counts during the day as people are checking out the channel that probably have not seen it before. This is RFC link and then our normal links here, and that is going to wrap up for the agenda for today. Now we will move on to the lab. I already have the lab loaded. We're doing initial.multicast as our viral INE lab, and it's all booted up. All very good. I did change something though. Normally when I boot VMware Workstation, my Mac, it automatically starts this viral VM, but I've been talking to other people about, I've got a Windows 7 on here, kind of old, it still works. I've got Visio on there in Office. But we have GNS3 and EVE-NG. GNS3 I have booted up, I've gotten running. I think I've got a couple of switches in there and that's it. But I'm curious about EVE-NG. That may end up being my large viral. The Viral Personal Edition has a 20 node limit. So I don't know if I'll be able to do more than 20 on this machine. I don't have a whole lot of RAM on this machine. My specs are here, but I just want to try it. There was a question that came up about jumbo frames. And interestingly enough, I know there's a little bit of a, sidebar, but we were talking in Discord. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're talking in Discord about a lab that someone was working on. And that's what we do a lot in Discord. If you're not in the channel yet, check it out. Subscribe to the Discord server. We talk about our labs. And sometimes we ask for help and people reach out for help. And someone was talking about jumbo frames being supported in their environment. I think they tried GNS3 and they tried EvenG, but I think we determined it's really more of a function of the image that you're using. And of course, no one that was in the discussion was using viral and had the viral images. But I told them, look, the viral image, iOS-V, supports jumbo frames, at least the router image. I have not tried the switch image, although I should. Before we get started, we are going to try that because this topology, designing topology loads 4 switches by default. So why not? Let's do a new window, telnet viral. It might still be booting up. It hasn't been that long since I started the simulation. Let's see, 17020, right? That says 40. Escape character. Connected. All right, it might still be booting up. Let's check on router 1. There it goes. So we'll just, out of the box, actually, the router image is running jumbo frames. And I'll show you that first while that's taking its sweet time to boot up. Actually, they're all booting up. But if you look at router 1, for example, show CP hog, yeah, you're just picture the old days when you had your 4U servers and you fired them up and it sounded like a rocket taking off. That's basically what happens with viral when the images first load. Just play that in your head. That's what's going on. Anyway, if I look at show, or let's go into config mode. We could go MTU, and you see here we go up to 9600, and it supports it. So let me make sure that's back to what it needs to be. It should be 1500. 13. Just doing some verification here. The 1500. All right, here's a little quiz from today that I came across. Notice this keep alive. Can you tell me, comment in the chat if you know, or on Discord. I'd be curious to see if you know what this keep alive does and what might be the problem if you see an interface that says keep alive not set. Just a little bit of trivia there. I've not seen any indication anything like that is going to be on the exam. This is just, trivia stuff. Something I ran across today. Looks like we were running OSPF here. Okay, these links are coming up on the switches. I'm going to shut down these switches, but I want to just look at the MTU and see if the iOS VL2 image that we're running here supports jumbo frames also. I believe it does. And again, jumbo frames, right, is 9600. So there's no command that I know of that says jumbo frames. Yeah, again, this is iOS, viOS L2 15.2. Yeah, that's at boot up time. It does run slow. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so let's just show IP interface brief. Actually, here we should do show interface status, right? Okay, so let's take, for example, GI00. Auto RJ45, auto full. Well, that's taking its sweet time. We're going to load up our configs, our requirements, and we're going to start laying out what we got to do here in this lab. So our requirements here, this lab is called, by the way, standard disclaimer, this is an INE workbook lab. It's not one that I created or designed. I'm just working through it. I don't show it on the screen. If you want to do this lab yourself, definitely check out the INE workbook. It's $2.99 before discounts, and it is linked below. And our requirements here, maybe to let me, yeah, okay. Let's look back at the, we're bouncing between two different things, I know. MTU, hey, there we go. So we have support. I'm just going to do a screen cap here. Yeah, so this is, as we can see here, we have our support, and sound is off. We need sound to be on. So you have it. Well, even on the switch image. And can we do a VLAN? Show VLAN brief. I just realized I haven't really done any switching in a while. Let's do interface VLAN 999. MTU. Look at that. It goes to 17940. Sweet. Yeah, so there are a lot of other images that on real switches, you will get the option for jumbo frames. But as soon as you use an image inside of an environment like this, a virtual router or switch, sometimes you don't see that same support. Viral has it, people. Viral has it. You can do your MTU labs here in Viral. Or at least with the Viral images, if nothing else. Because when I fire up GNS3, actually I've already done this with GNS3, and when I fire up even G, I will be using the Viral images in there. All right, so PIM Accept RP is the lab. Let me shut down the switches, by the way. Stop those nodes. What don't need you anymore? PIM Accept RP, we are going to enable PIM sparse mode. So PIM sparse mode on path between R5 and R10. We're familiar with that path. We've been doing work out of there a good bit. I'll bring it up the map though in a minute, the diagram. And then configure R5's loopback as the static rendezvous point. And this is going to be new. We're going to ensure that we want R5 and R8 to accept star comma G joins towards the rendezvous point only for groups 224, 10, 10, 10, and 224, 110, 110, 110. Okay, so do I know how to do this? No. Are we going to figure it out? Yes. I know how to do sparse mode. I know how to configure the rendezvous point. Do I know how to restrict? So apparently we need to accept joins on router 5 and router 8. Let's look at our topology here. You probably know this topology already, but this is a copy of what you can download. They're publicly on INE's topology, but we've got router 5. Oh, this is small. Okay. Yeah, this is a very small lab. It's tiny. Very tiny lab. So this is going to be just right here. So we got 3 routers. And router 5 is going to be a rendezvous point. Is that right? On path between router 5 and router 10. Router 5 is a rendezvous point. So it doesn't look like we're going to have any S, Gs. We don't even have a topology large enough for that, right? So what we're going to do is we need to restrict so that router 5 and router 8 accept star G joins towards RP only for groups 2 to 4, 10 to 10. So at the end of the day, I should be able to validate by on router 10, I want to do an IGMP join group 2 to 4, 10, 10, 10, and it should work. And want to do an IGMP, IPNG, IGMP join group 2 to 4, 110, 110, 110. And we're going to do IGMP join group for 224, let's call it 10.10.20, and this should fail. So I think what that means is when I put in the static rendezvous point, that in that statement, potentially, that is where, because we don't want to accept joins. So let me think about this. I don't think it means we have to do any additional configuration on router 8, because if he sends a join to router 8 will forward it to the rendezvous point. That's sparse mode, right? So that's what I think we need to do. And I think in order to validate that is we need to go to our documentation. By the way, did you all know that today Cisco took away the technology, the full menu for support and under documentation? So before I go to support, all products, and I could select like 2 or 3 more times all products, and I would get the menu. That menu is gone. I tried to get to it. I don't see any way to get to it. And you'll notice now, and why would you do that? Well, you might have to go to older, versions of documentation. There's certain documents that, you can only get in like 12.4. Well, guess what? You're not going to get those off the menu anymore. So, and I need to put this is sort of a vlog topic, because I want to post about this. But let's see. Yeah, we're going to say this is support. Yeah. So what's up with that, Cisco? I mean, now if I want to get to 12.4, I would think, all right, well, maybe they put it under here. If you go to network and software. No, they got 12.2. If you can click it here, you can also click on into support, and you got 12.2, SY and SX. That doesn't have everything I need. And they will be removed 2 years after the support date. Okay, I understand that policy. But give us another way to find them. Even if we're doing self-support. We may not have an option, give us self-support at least. But yeah, this is, maybe is there a way to do it through this menu? No. Man, I wish there was some other. How about under all support? Yeah, I mean, they totally... Anyway, I won't get off on that rant there. You can still search under support and find like 12.4 mainline, and you can still get there, but another Cisco documentation rant is over for now. All right, so configuration guides. Let's go to, actually want to go to command reference. Actually want to go to configuration guide. I need to refresh my memory a little bit about doing, here's PIM. The sparse mode, the basic sparse mode configuration. No, that's not what I want. Multicast PIM. Thank you. And we're going to go under basic. Basic IP multicast, configuration examples, and sparse mode with a single static rendezvous point. I pointed out the other day, by the way, this is wrong because there's no... If you're going to mention, you know, invoke an access list, you have to put the access list here. But I think this is exactly what we want to do. All example sets the PIM RP address to this only. So what we have to do is essentially create an access list. Let's pull up our configuration here. So let's go ahead and do like we'll start router 5. We only have 3 routers, right? We'll start with router 10 actually. So we're out here on the edge. IP multicast routing. Hope I didn't forget it this time. And then we want to configure our interfaces, which in this case we're going to do GI01-108. And I think, yeah, we've been configuring these on the GI01-10 interface as well. But what we want to do here is IP PIM sparse mode here and here. And IP PIM RP address is the loopback, I think, of router 5. Yeah. 50.1.5.5. So that's pretty simple. And this is going to be the same for router 10 and router 8. And he's going to be 1.108 and 158. And IP PIM RP address, yes. Now router 5 is where we're going to put the access list. So we're going to say J0158. Interface loopback 0. That's all we really need is those two interfaces. IP PIM sparse mode, and we configure this here as well. And we have to say, we have to create an access list here. So we're going to do IP access list. We're going to try to do named standard RP joins, and we're going to say permit IP, and I think what we do here is, as we see in this example, these are the groups that we're going to allow. So we should be able to have two statements here, 224.10.10.10, and yeah, that's going to be a 0000, right? And permit IP 224.110.110.110. And then on our statement here, IP PIM RP address, we're going to say access list RP joins. I think that's how we do it. So let's staple it up. Okay, like my config there. We'll go to router 8. what is our rate? 0.16. Yeah. And we'll go to router 5. Guys, I'm thinking about changing the color of my terminals. When I first started streaming, I had all these crazy terminal colors. But some of them were not easy to see on screen on the video. And some of them were, they were just kind of hard to read. But then I made an effort to try to be more like, to set up things, even though I'm on a Mac, more like what I'm going to see in the lab in terms of the text editor and PuTTY, etc. I even tried to download PuTTY for the Mac, and it was garbage. Didn't work. So that's why I went just to basic white for Notepad. But I installed PuTTY on my Windows computer, and it has a black background. So we may be changing it here, as long as it's still easy to read on screen. So let me make sure I got my standard access list right. I always seem to mess this up. Yeah. Permit 224. That's because it's standard, right? And permit IP 224.110. Yeah, no protocols in standard. Show access list, RP joins. Okay, good. So we're going to permit these and block everything else. The question, though, is what about our... This is just as a rendezvous point. You know, we have these standard groups, 224.0.1.40. That shouldn't impact us there, I wouldn't think. All right, we'll find out, I guess. So this, not sure what it's griping about here. And then access list, yeah, named RP joins. Override dynamically learnt RP mappings. Not sure what that means. Let's look that up. Under command reference and IP multicast and IP PIM RP address. Oh, that doesn't cover it, does it? IP PGMP. Where? Oh, right. IP PIM RP address. Override specifies that if dynamic and static group to RP members are used together, and there is an RP address conflict, the RP address configured for a static takes precedence. If the other is not specified, dynamic will take precedence, right? Which is kind of backwards from what we're normally used to. Okay, I remember hearing about that in the video, so. Okay, and then do we do the rest of our config? Yes. So we should be good to go. Let's do a join. Well, first let's look at show IP en route. Incoming null, outgoing. Okay. I'm not going to worry about this group. Yeah, we're not going to worry about this group. this is part of the underlying communication for multicast, right, between the routers. So I don't think that's impacted. We should have a route to 150.1.5.5, and we do. And then let's do a join here. And see what happens. This should send the, okay, RP join for an invalid RP. Receive star comma 2240140. So do we need to add that to the access list? Maybe that does break some of the underlying, because definitely join for 1.5 for invalid RP. Let's do this. Let's turn that off. Yeah, let's turn that off. I want to kind of reset, and I want to see the packet captures on this. So you know what? In order to do that, I'll do interface JS0158, no IP PIM. Interface L0, no IP PIM. And we're going to actually capture on router 5. So let's turn this on. These packet captures were crucial for me to understand that issue I had with dense mode. These and the prunes and how that works. Without packet captures, I'd still be working on that. So we're going to call this, well, the PCAP filter is going to be IGMP or PIM or ICMP, right? Create. Okay, so we're going to turn this back on. IP PIM sparse mode. Yeah, it does not even like, so I think we have to add this. I think we have to add this to our access list. Let's do that. I'm going to say permit IP 224.0.140. Because that's what nails up our, that's how we discover our rendezvous points. Yeah, that's the 224.0.140, so we've got to allow that. Oh, permit, yeah, standard access list, so let's do this. Let's do no. It lets us. It may get persnickety and say, it's in use. Okay. So now we should see the, if we add this interface jazz 0110, debug IP PIM, debug IP IGMP. Yeah, let's just watch what happens. So let's put this join in here. Okay, 224.0.140. It has to have that. Receive join prune. join list, RPT bit set, S bit set. Okay, add forward state. All right, so we should have it now. Show IPM route. There it is. We have our star comma G. Good. And let's put this one in there. Check RP, adding as accepting, yes. Adding forward state. Star comma G. Show IPM route. And there it is. Now let's add this one and it should fail, which we kind of already saw. Updating exclude group timer. Invalid RP. Yeah, ignored. Ignored, denied. Okay, so I think that's all we need here. Let's check our lab key. Let's look at our capture first. I don't think we're going to see anything we haven't seen before. But let's take a look anyway. Update, forward state, yeah, by PIM, star G join. Helpful log messages there. So let's look at here's this one, membership. It came in. IGMP, this should be a join. Or membership report. Yeah, membership report. Right. And this from router 10. And this is forwarded to sources router 10, forwarded to 224.10.10.10. That's interesting. I guess I did not realize that. So we have our membership query general. And then I guess I did not realize that the actual destination, the membership report, oh, of course it does. It goes to that address, 224.10.10.10. Right. So he sends a membership report. This is an IGMP. We add this interface. We issue the PIM join command. Router 10 then issues out of all of its PIM interfaces with the destination address of 224.10.10.10. And router 8 receives a request to join. And he should forward that to the 224.00.13. Right. So the IGMP becomes a PIM message. So yeah, pretty typical stuff here that we're used to seeing. Let's look at the lab key and see if that's what we needed. A security feature used by iOS routers. Now, what's interesting is it did not, the lab key does not have this group in there. But it also put it on, router 8. Okay, I wondered about that. It says router 5 and router 8 should accept star comma G joins towards RP only for these two groups. So we would have needed to put the access list here. I didn't think that it would listen on router 8, but apparently it will. It'll actually filter, which is better. Imagine a large network. You want to filter closest to the source. So it does allow for that feature on router 8. So we would have put this here as well. This IP access list. And an accept RP. Interesting. I didn't know you could put the... Oh, it's different. I'm doing it wrong. Okay, I'm doing it wrong, guys. So we can do it this way with an access list on the RP address. But as we see, we got a different result because we had to add this group. I think if I was reading correctly in the documentation, this is more for... It sounds like this scenario is more designed for when you have static and dynamically learned RP addresses. What it's saying to do is do IP PIM accept RP 150.1.5.5 and then RP joins. Yep, that's how they want us to do it. So let's fix that. I think we just take this out and put it back, and then we do the PIM accept. Okay, let's look at the command reference for that. IP PIM accept RP. To configure router to accept join or prune messages destined for specify rendezvous point for a specific list of groups. To remove that check, yeah. The command causes the router to accept only star comma G join messages for the specified RP address. Additionally, the group address must be in the range specified by the access list. When it is one of the addresses in the system will be the RP only for the specified group range. The group is not in the group range, RP will not accept or join and will respond to me the register message with register stop messages. Now that I want to see. Let's yeah, we're going to delete this cap and create a new one on router 8. Apparently it sends a cease and desist letter to router 10 of some sort. So we're going to say router 8. Actually, let's apply the configuration first. Let's take these PIM joins out. No IP IGMP join group 10, 20, 110. Okay, so we have no joins. And let's put this configuration on router 5. Let's clean this up. Yeah, let's remove that. This is cleaner. Undebug all, yeah. And then on router 8, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put this access list. And it makes sense if you have the IP PIM RP address on all the routers that you would have also the accept RP address on all the routers. That makes sense. You can delete that. Okay, so let's put this now on router 8. Okay. Now, We're going to debug IGMP, and debug IP PIM, debug IP IGMP. And let's do it on router 8 as well. Why not? Debug IP PIM, debug IP IGMP. Okay, now let's do these joins and just see what happens. This should work. Boom. Adding register decap tunnel. Okay. So should have joined. We should have a star comma G now. Ah, this stuff was still in here, wasn't it? That's okay. Now we're gonna put one in for this. Nah, we already know that one's gonna work. Let's do one for this one now. Okay, it is ignored. Does it let the other router know that? And pruning that, right. And we'll respond immediately to register messages with the register stop messages. Stop. Register stop. Okay, so let's take a look at that capture. I want to see that in action. Where's our capture? Oh, tell me I didn't start it, did I? Okay, that's okay. Let's take this out. No. And we're gonna do no IP PIM. No IP PIM. And then we're gonna get ready to, then we're gonna put it back. Okay, before we put this join on, we're gonna start our cap. Router 8. Jazz 01. Traffic capture. PIM or IGMP or ICMP. Yep. See what it looks like. Okay, now we're going to do this join, and we should get a cease and desist. As it says here, it will respond with a register stop. Set report delay time. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at that, see what it looks like. Uh, 755. Router 8 will be this one. So he sends that membership query, and then what is this prune? Type join prune. Okay, so this is a join. We don't see like any sort of rejection message. Did we do enough captures here? Let's pull that down again. Do a little housekeeping. Remove that. Remove that. Okay, let's pull this down again. We should have seen it by now, I would think. Okay. We should see some sort of response from 108.8. Okay, I'm not sure what message they're talking about, but yeah, because he's going to keep sending the IGMP message. But he's just going to keep dropping it, looks like. Talk all he want, he's not going to. And then that message would never get to router 5, right? Which is what we would want. Yeah, see, he never sees it. So, good deal. Let's see what else we have here in the lab answer key. That was one thing I missed. Yeah, we saw the log message, invalid join. Yep, that's all there is to it. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next slide. We may have time for this. Okay, DR election. All right, I think I got this. All right, let's clean up this lab from router 10. Join group. Okay, this is pretty cool. So this lab is called PIM DR election. I've already read up on this a little bit. Here are the requirements. Enable sparse mode on LAN segment between R1, R4, and R6, and between R4 and R5's Ethernet segment. And R5's look back as rendezvous point. Right. And then ensure R4 is responsible for multicast source registration with ERP for devices on the VLAN 146 segment. Should send the RP registrations. Okay, so what this means, let's pull up our map. Let's kill this capture real quick. Kill it. Oh, it's not running. Okay, fine. We'll delete it then. Delete. So what they want us to do is, we're all about efficiency, right? So if we have an Ethernet segment, and we're going to enable IPPIM sparse mode all along, trying to get that right. Okay. And we have an Ethernet segment here. So what we want to do is, if we're going to be hurdling request to router 5, we want to make sure that router 4 is elected to do that, because there is going to be an election, and it's kind of like OSPF, you know. Who's going to be the designated router on this segment? It's the same. Who's going to send, fetch and send the registration requests to router 5. I wonder how we can illustrate this though if we're just using these segments, router 1, 4, and 6. On the LAN segment between router 1, 4, and 6, jazz 0, 1, 4, 6, and between router 4 and 5's jazz 0, 1, 4, 5. Statically configure R4 as loop back as a rendezvous point. Ensure R4 is responsible for multicast source registration. Okay, I don't know how we can really illustrate this unless we were like to enable. I mean, router 1. That's your IGP route is going to take you here anyway. So it would make sense that router 4 is the designated router. I would almost like to see, I'm sure we'll probably see it at some point. I would like to see this demonstrated when we have multiple links, multiple routes, and that router 1, for example, would still send the RP request through router 4. Anyway, we'll configure it like it's asking us to do. And I think what we need to do here is router 10, we're going to turn off. We'll just turn all this stuff off here. And no, blah, blah, blah. Just clean up. And same on router 8. We don't need that. We don't need this. Last time I didn't clean up enough, and it came back to haunt me later. I thought, I don't really need to clean that up, and kept doing labs, and sure enough, it became an issue. So we're going to clean up this time. Router 8. So that should be all turned off. Okay. Now router 5, we don't need this, but this will stay the same. We don't need accept. We're going to turn it on also, actually just for, say no here. And interface jazz 0, 1, 45. IPPM sparse mode. And then we're going to take this configuration and pretty much put the same on the other routers. No interface L0. We're going to do jazz 0, 1, 146. Okay, that'll be, and on what we want to do on this is say IP PIM DR priority, I think it is, and we're going to make it 100. I think that's all we have to do there. Okay, they're going to say on router 6. And router 1. Yep. All right, we'll start at the top. Go to router 1. Easy peasy. Router 6. And I have seen this DR election too. I'm not gonna. We'll probably turn on a debug. So here you're gonna see debug IP PIM. And I think router 6 would have won this election right now. Actually, don't even need to do a debug. You know, these are the messages. Our metric is higher. We win. No, we win. Because it calculates a metric to router 5. Okay, so router 4. DR change to me, right? Check DR after interface. GI0 override came up. And do we see that neighbor message over here? We do. DR change from neighbor. DR change from neighbor. And that's what we wanted to see. That's the end of the show, folks. You can go home now. That's all there is to it, really. Okay. That's one way, I think, to see who the DR is. I really don't know. I think I'd do a show IP PIM neighbor. That says DR, but that's not DR. That's dense. No, it is. Designated router. And there's a priority. So, good. Okay. And router 5 should send the RP registration. So, let's say we are on router 1. And we want to join. Interface GI0 146. IP PIM, IGMP, join group. Notice it is sending the packet. Send v2 join prune to router 5. So. I think that's all there's to it, folks. Let me just check the configuration, the answer key. Yeah, that's all there's to it. IP PIM DR priority. And I was wondering about this. So there is a way to see show IP PIM interface. I didn't think about using detail, but PIMDR, this system. Yep. And the show IP PIM neighbor that we did earlier. So, all right, folks. I think that is pretty much going to wrap us up for tonight. We got 2 labs done. I can't do much labbing tonight, much as I would want to. At least we did 2, so that's good. We'll tell you about what we got coming up. Let's see here. We're making good. We're getting through multicast quicker than I thought I would. I thought it would be kind of like IPsec VPN and DMVPN. Now that took like a month to get through IPsec and DMVPN, but at least as of right now, 29th January 18. Okay, so yeah, our days are actually moving up a little bit. Our finish date has been slowly moving up. We're 58% complete. I've labbed for 242 days, 8 months, 0.6766 years. So that is number 250. Got 175 to go in this workbook. So, but yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this evening. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Appreciate you stopping in. Please follow us here on Twitch, and you see when we go live. Again, the schedule's there. You can always type it. We've got Nightbot will tell you the streaming schedule, and also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, we're on it. Thanks, folks. So good to see you, and hope you get all the good bits. Happy labbing, happy learning. We'll see you back here soon, a Land Tamer stream.